5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
And good afternoon, everyone. Tommy West Point Esports Open Invitational Esports game. I am Saladman, and I have my guest here
with Chocla, his partner.
Yep. So right now we're doing Army West Point versus Cadwell University, Map 1. Just starting off. A couple of picks here from West Point.
Fade Mole getting some picks of Farah, looks like.
Yeah, nice little. I would say it's a brawl and like low comp mix with the Rhine.
I think this is all poke for Army West Point's part.
Rhine, now they put it to Rom. And for Army West Point, they have Sigma as their main tank. So how that?
Yeah, I don't know, man. He's playing rock and he's throwing rocks at people. I mean, he's more like a wall at this point when you think about it.
Yeah, very brawl. Like Rock uses like very brawl comp, especially with Sigma there.
Looks like throwing rocks is a rock specialty. So
So we're going to take a very close look at Cadwell University with Mazda here, trying to see what plays he's trying to do. He's mainly focusing tank, but not getting anything, no profit out of that one.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like Rock's just harassing Ramatra here.
Forward Grim goes down. Now we're watching Shade Mold here. Kind of just like poke him from far. Like,
nah, Shade Mold is just spawn camping at this point. He's just having a lot of fun, just psychologically doing some psyops, messing with the enemy team. He's just having fun. Granted though, he's missing a lot of shots.
Targeting those healers is like getting a lot of profit out of that. It's really good play. Getting healers at the fight.
Oh, that's for sure. That's really true. Looks like Army's coming up on multiple different ultimates. They got what, all 5 online with Caldwell behind actually in the ultimate. So it looks like Army and West Point Esports is just trying to pull out as many ultimates as they can to secure the point for as long as they can. If they're not 3 of 5, they're just having their own fun.
Great first round for Army West Point, making sure that Cadwell does not touch the point at all. But it's time for Cadwell to try to figure out the counter comp to this with Farah and Sig. Farah's a great pokes and so is Sigma.
I don't know. I don't think they really need to counter. They could just pull off the same thing with the Ramatra. They just gotta,
well, they gotta
do a bit more
target
teamwork.
more of West Point's healers because they're able to keep Rock up that whole fight with Macho, but it should have been an easy win. But they look like going towards more brawl here with the Rhine and Genji.
That'll be interesting to see because, in Brawl, you gotta stick together all the time.
Yeah, very close, very tight fight.
Although, I would argue both teams are playing comps that involve just sticking together the whole time and just working together.
Yeah, we're around with Stade Mold there. See over top here. It's Winston on Winston right now.
Looks like they're playing the same comp, so...
Well, for Cadwell, they switched to more dive, the Winston there, but he's not going to get a lot of heals. He's kind of being separated from the healers, but he's managing to stay alive. But
yeah.
Army West Point is targeting the healers first. They knew that they get the healers, they just get the tank immediately.
Army West Point for sure does know how to play dive a lot better than Caldwell does for sure.
But Rock and Mulan taking care of the DPS, creating a large stagger.
That's for sure. Although, looks like they're making a swap right now. 2 DPS switches over, so we have the Reaper and the Sombra. Looks like they're just trying to get some hacks in, trying to stop their cooldowns because they're just using a lot of cooldowns. So, what do you think's gonna happen with this fight so far? Now that you switched over, what do you think's gonna happen?
So I don't think much is going to change unless they get their focuses towards like DPS and healers, because every fight I've seen, they've been targeting Rock. But there you go, we got Cadwell took out Stayed Mold in West Point. And Reaper is a good counter. Good fighting for going against Winston.
But the question is a counter better than actually target focus? That's the real question now we gotta ask.
I would say it's highly doable, but I think it's more of a target focus. But they're all just shooting the tank. Not really focusing the diff on the.
So then it must be that Rock's just a big old playmaker then.
Well, his team is really supporting him really well because they're keeping him alive at almost every engagement. I don't think Rock has died a single time during this game.
That's an interesting assessment to make. I won't lie to you. Based on what we're seeing right now, what is the likelihood that Hollowell's gonna come back and retake the point?
Very hard to say right now because anything can happen. Anything can happen at Overwatch.
Anything you say?
Yeah, that is what I said. But
Well, that is true.
not much Cadwell can do here, especially just trickling in one by one in the fight.
It's true, they are trickling.
Yeah, see, like after they get one pick off the other, someone else decides to hop on just trying to contest, but not able to like use all their ults collectively, not helping them win. So that would be 2-0 on map 1 with Army West Point and Cadwell University.
Do you think map geometry, or do you think it's just skill that just was the main issue for Cadwell here?
Well, I think it was a lot of teamwork and target focus and great picks from Army West Point. Just
So it's a bit more coordination on Army's part.
yes, a lot more coordination. I'm pretty sure there are target calling in their comms. How we saw Farah in the first map, Stable just targeting Ana as he saw a healer, just target, focus, kill.
So with the next map coming out, what type of map do you predict is going to happen for this next map?
For Ilios, I think it's gonna be a lot. Like someone's gonna try to get environmental.
We just had Ilias, so I just
was that what? Just Ilios?
The next map, I mean.
I'm not sure.
The hybrid map.
Oh, yes. So the next hybrid map is gonna be King's Row. What I predict from there is really hard defense from one of these, but you gotta see because one team can be really good at control points, whereas another team can be way better at push maps.
Why do you think that is?
Well, it's just like wherever they.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna be playing Overwatch, why don't you just get focused on every game, on every match,
well, with my experience when I was playing Call of Duty competitively, my team was really good at hardpoint. My team was really good at hardpoint, whereas on Search and Destroy we weren't that great. We were a little bit lacking on Search and Destroy.
Right.
I think that's just like a team thing, Like in basketball, some players are good at defense, whereas some players are better on offense. So it really depends on the team. That's just sports in general.
Right, but I would say more like if you're good at offense, obviously you can't be that great at defense. But it's not like, obviously esports is more one of those things where it's like you can be well-rounded at every map, but it's more like an offense-defense kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't really understand why you can't just be good at decent at every map, and have a decent understanding of both sides, or at least focus on one or the other.
So what I noticed from map 1 with control, that when Army West Point took it over, they held it on. They didn't let Cadwell touch it at all. So what I think is, for defense, Army West Point will do a lot better. But if Cadwell University gets that momentum of using all their ults in a strategic manner and eliminating everyone on point, then I think they can gain momentum. But as we see here,
and a very funny turn of events, I just want to point out.
Yes,
the teams are swapped.
The team names are swapped, but that's just very minor, but not a big deal. So as we see, red team, Army West Point Esports, are on attack and Cadwell is on defense. So let's see if Army West Point attack is a lot better than their defense.
We'll see. It is up in the air after all. It is one of those games. And
Ooh,
stayed mold
with the Widow kill.
first pick. That can shift the momentum really, really quick.
Yes, it can, especially getting in DPS out the fight.
They got a huge source of burst damage, so they're just losing an incredible amount of like kills.
I think this is very interesting. What Cadwell has here for their.
And Army West Point's building the Baptiste. It's the Bastion. Wulong is taking out the fight, but I mean that doesn't really matter at the end of the day when you've killed almost everyone else.
Ooh, TJ, the Lucio getting a nice little kill on Ramacho there.
Little demon.
Oh, and then stayed mold with a clean pick on Werewolf. So with this Cadwell University like players that they have going on, like what their heroes are, very interesting because for defense, I don't know how to feel about Ram on defense. Well, with Bastion, right? Bastion, it can create a lot of space, making players get out the way. Whereas on defense, you know, sure he can set up a great position and go turret, but I don't see really any only supports I see that can help Bastion and Mercy here, but.
Well, I mean, they do have a Baptiste, so that kind of makes up for, you know, a lot of the lack of healing that they have.
Or DPS. Because Baptiste can put out a lot of DPS. But
realistically, would you ever use?
Shiz with the tire ult right there, just eliminating Cadwell on the point.
That's true. Although, some of what as I was saying earlier, like, I would kind of argue, you know, the Baptiste may not necessarily, you know, be used for DPS, you know?
Yes, agreed. Shiz trying to create some space, like pushing up onto Cadwell into their spawn, whereas both the supports are hanging back at the point. But sure, ooh, Ramacho getting Shiz out the fight, but Rock is gonna hide and get behind them and target the supports instantly. Does Mercy go for the res
much
here?
value because he's just alone.
Ooh, Lucio ult to keep the team alive. But Shiz is still in the back line, trying to catch up, trying to get some of the action, you know? He's
just
trying to get back in.
You know?
Yep. So we got Lucio here, creating space and supporting his team. Just doing everything that he can. Ramacho's really weak, but gets picked by Mulan. But now, the tank is gone, but they have 4 spawns. So, great spawn advantage.
Just caught up and spawned, it looks like. So right now, we're approaching point number 3. What would you say is going to be the most pivotal part of this whole point?
I think Cadwell has to hold them at this choke point. Not trying to like get into their offense. Whereas this Ryan's going really deep into the point, trying to stick to them. I think he should stay back around that corner and try to just like pressure them to not push so much, right? If they're a dive comp, what they're gonna do is try to push. You're gonna have to counter that push and like make them stay back. You know, as we see the Ashe ult there trying to contest the point as long as possible, but I don't think Ryan needs to, you know, provide shield because
sure,
Bob has a lot of health.
It is a very tough point to cap, I will say for sure.
Exactly.
One of the few things I have,
a great choke point. Great choke point.
One of the few things I did observe from this match, especially, is that Army seems to be taking a lot more engagements. They're taking a lot more proactivity. They're increasing their lethality. It's like boxing, you know. They're throwing in that one-handed jab. That left-handed jab is their little deterrent. Their rangefinder. They're going in with that Winston jump in. That rangefinder going out.
Ooh, another shizzle.
Shiz gets that 2-piece right now.
But Ashe is targeting the soldier right now. She's getting. Oh.
Ooh.
That nice little boop.
Taking some
and
blows.
TJ's gonna just pressure that Ashe and take her out.
Caldwell's not having a very fun time.
No, this is.
And that's a spawn cam. That's some bad manners, man.
Come on, Rock.
Ooh.
And Paul getting pushed up by Lucio. It is not looking too good for Cadwell.
Looks a little sad.
But overall, still a great round. But we can see how Army of West Point hold on defense, especially playing with that dive comp. I don't know if they're going to change or not.
Well, I mean, knowing them and knowing how, you know, the rest of the map might go, they're good at defense. They might play a poke, or they might play a brawl.
You could play a dive on a defense, but it's gonna be really tough to have to obviously rein it back. A lot of dive is just going in, engaging. It's like a jab, basically. Jabbing in with that rangefinder, and then you're gonna make that cross by getting those kills, you know?
Yeah, nice little boxing, bringing boxing to this.
Of course. UFC is on my mind right now, so obviously.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting right now.
Yeah,
Looks like
completely
Caldwell's
understand
playing a brawl though, or at least a modified brawl.
Modified brawl. No,
They don't have a lot of speed going on right here, so
no speed, yes, but then I'm not sure about the Kiriko there. I want to go for, like Lucio, like you said, get some speed into there.
Of
Try to
course.
gain that momentum to push him off the point. Whereas Army West Point playing that poke comp with Brock playing Sigma and Shiz playing Junker still.
they're playing heavy poke. But one of the few things I did notice is that they got a lot of survivability, a lot of like armor basically from Brig. So maybe they'll be able to be a bit more tanky, maybe
Yeah,
not.
maybe more survivable.
Now I would love to see somebody get hit by that trap. By the way, not that I ever fall for that trick.
Look,
but...
look at that. Rock is calling out that Widow.
Ooh, someone did get trapped.
Hurt. Ooh,
Somebody got trapped.
Ryan pushing it too far and getting picked off and punished for that.
You're the very tank-centric game, you know.
Very tank.
Mess up your tank messed up.
Ooh, and Rock gonna just punish that Kiriko for staying too close.
Well,
But-
it looks like.
But we're seeing Rock is calling out the Widow, saying, "Do not get in her sight. She's looking down here. Do not peek her." Whereas Mulan is gonna keep throwing orbs at her. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, gonna get some skill charge off of that. They notice immediately that they're gonna use that teleporter to get in a different
Corner.
position.
They got the Ana. That's
But
big
Ryan,
old momentum
Ryan,
tick.
lost
Ryan down,
shield.
Ryan down. And from what looks to be right now, it looks like it's just cleanup here.
Just picking off the last pieces of Cadwell University. I gotta say, Army West Point playing really well countering that Ryan, because as long as we get his shield down, he can't really do much.
Of course.
Especially at that distance.
Compare this whole fight to, basically, that whole fight. Because it looks like that one little piece, the main healer, the Ana, got taken out. And then the ocular Kiriko had to go by herself and basically heal the rest of the team.
Exactly.
Wouldn't you say that's like chess in a way? When the most important integral piece, right?
Is the queen or the king? Sorry,
King,
the
of course.
Yeah,
The king is the tank. But if you take out the little subordinates that it has,
The
so
pawns,
the pawns or
the
whatever,
knights, yeah,
queens and everything.
Well, no, the queen's alive.
That's true, yeah. But like basically, you take everything out. Looks like Army West Point is just going in right now with some
Ooh, Ryan
kills.
hanging
Rock's
out
using
there.
ult. Rock's he's basically just carrying this whole game. Basically, it looks like.
I want to see what's Rock's POV here. Trying to see how is he making these plays and like what is he target. Like, does he just try to get damage as much as possible out, or is he trying to pick off certain players? He's getting a lot of shield charges just by absorbing those fire strikes and anything that he can. Look,
Yeah.
you see how he kind of just breaks shield first and then tries to target any smaller heroes?
They're gonna shiz with that two-piece. Two of the most important characters in the game right
Rock
now.
is gonna take that hit from Ryan as a last hit.
I mean, he has the health to take him. So
Yeah, he
what
does
can I
have
say?
the. That's the thing. He's great as a tank to try to like take the hit.
Ooh,
once in a while.
that's a sad boulder right there.
Yeah, missing that Kiriko,
And
letting her get out the fight.
it really was a real blue rock.
Not with the puns. Not with the puns.
Ooh, he connects that little rock, knocks down that Sigma. Unfortunately, it was too early because I mean, what can I say? They popped up that Kiriko ult now.
But everyone's popping off their ults right now. But the whole Ramatra, not Ramatra, the
Mulan with that little old save of Transcendence, trying to save the whole team. Obviously, Ramatra's going in with his punchy thingy and punching everybody.
oh,
But
Genji
he's-
charging in with his ult, but
Oh, that's the worst.
Genji was not able to connect there, getting instantly taken out by Mulan.
The Genji ult shutdowns are always the saddest ones to watch, you know? Always sad.
Me personally, me being tank, Genji is like the bane of my existence, because every time I just see him hopping around, it's just like, keys. Just want to smack them around.
I don't know. I think that's kind of on you, though. You know.
Yes,
You're
it
probably not
is.
watching.
It is on me. I am the tank player, but do they take advantage from this Ramo? But no, they backed up far enough for it to end, and they're just gonna.
TJ getting some kills right now. He wants a piece of that action.
One healer down. Oh, but Army West Point Esports gonna clean up with a bunch of ults towards the end.
Ooh. And looks like Army West Point Esports wins the second map.
Second map down.
Scores currently 2-0 in terms of maps.
So, I've been noticing a lot that Shiz on Army West Point Esports is just the playmaker, I would say. Getting his ult charges, getting like into nice little secret places and saying, okay, where is everyone? And just taking advantage of them getting too close, you know? We're taught to stay 15 meters apart when doing any marching formations in case of any grenades, right?
Right, and I would agree with that. But at the same time, like, I think it's not really Shiz. It's more of Rock. Because obviously he's that integral piece of the puzzle, right? Mm-hmm. When he goes in and he goes all that damage and whatever he does, he does his rock magic, I guess. Something like that. Whenever he does his like little dive-ins with tank, engages and everything, he's creating space for his team. That enables his team to go in and do their job.
Yes, exactly.
So I think it's more Rock
the initiator. He is the initiator.
He is the top dog.
He is top rock.
Maybe it is real blue rock that's doing it.
God.
So what do you think is gonna happen on this very next map? Because it's a payload to my knowledge, right?
So, thinking about that last two maps there, I'm not entirely sure because, you know, changing all the game modes, but Army West Point Esports has that momentum to continue and just take advantage of the weaknesses that Cadwell might show. Because Army West Point has not shown any, like, weaknesses. Like, they're still in single-digit deaths from both maps.
Okay. But then, how do you feel about them performing on payload right now? Like, what do you think is gonna be the winner or lose for a payload map, especially?
A payload map, especially, I would say, taking up base. You know, they use that dive comp and the DPS to just get in, like, close to their spawn and control them and making sure that they do not push up to the point. Whereas the support stayed back and just pushed up that point with no issues whatsoever.
That is a very interesting take on your part. I will agree with that for sure. There is a lot of spacing involved when it comes to something like payload. But I think also part of payload is also just pure pathing.
Yes.
Because
Pathing,
obviously
sure.
there's some payload maps where it's just full tunnels. There's only one spot to get in through.
Yeah, like that choke point heading to checkpoint 3.
Of course. That's why King's Row is a very good map to play very tightly space dominant heroes like Junkrat or Hanzo.
Yeah. So we have a special guest here. One of the players from Army West Point Esports.
Their infamous thrower.
The infamous thrower, as we call them. But I just want to get your opinions about that game and how your team performed.
We did really good. I was watching from behind Leighton's screen, and especially on that last point, he was in that room and he was such a nuisance. They couldn't do anything about it. He had like multiple multi-kills. Team couldn't push around. It was pretty disgusting, actually. He's actually here right now. So
yes, the playmaker here, as I said, Shiz. Please tell me about like all your ult plans and how you took advantage of the Cadwell University.
So I really took advantage. I took advantage from where they were playing at, and like I saw that they had already used the BAP lamp. So then I was like, boom, that's free ult economy for me right there. I can use it, get it, take advantage of it. And then the second one, I was really scared about because I saw that Ashe on the high ground, but I knew that their team was there, and I had forced the Ashe off of the high ground because I had just been popping off on Kings Row, which is one of our best maps. And on the defense side, they always look for it coming like in the front, so I just kind of played in that. I played off that hotel right there, made advantage, made room, made them scared to push in.
Yeah, that's what we really noticed there. On Kings Row, you guys used that dive comp to take a lot of space, especially from checkpoint 1 to 2. That whole alleyway, it was just tail cruising for the supports, and y'all were just attacking them towards their spawn.
Yeah, that's one of the things on Kings Row is like if they can take that first point with like a wipe or even staggers, the other team has such a far spawn that you can just really push up if you have the mobility and the like ability to get out. So thankfully, like with the monkey and or with the Winston and the Junkrat, we were able to just go up there, apply force, hit more alt charge, and force them into a bad position.
Well, that's really great. Thank you for providing some insight.
Of course.
That was Shiz from Army West Point Esports. So, Army West Point Esports finishes off Cadwell University with a 2-0. Really great gameplay from Army West Point. But also a great learning point from Cadwell, because they can know now their weaknesses of letting them push them back and try to counter those dive comps.
I mean, you know,